You don't understand anything about beer. If you like Coors Light, you just like water with a little bit of flavor because that thing is like it. I never tasted peace, but it tastes
But
like
have you
peace.
ever watched?
I present to you the challenge.
I understand what this challenge is, but okay.
So a lot of people think that Spain is just a wine country, right? But in reality, we're one of the highest consumers of beer, but also producers. And we have a lot of regional beers, as you
Yeah, I'm aware of
know,
that.
some of them. And we have gotten a lot of comments of, why are you drinking that crappy beer? Drink this one instead. And we can go on and on. I will
So
say,
beer is a big thing here.
it is a big thing. We're very passionate about our regional stuff, especially beer. And I would even say that beer can cause more problems than political enfrentamientos. You're not a big beer drinker.
I'm not because I don't get drunk, and
Drinking doesn't necessarily has to end on being drunk.
no, I know, but what I'm trying to say is I would figure that was the goal for people because I don't see the purpose in the way people drink.
Because you enjoy the taste.
Yeah, I don't. Beer isn't enough taste for me. I like cocktails. I'm more of a cocktail drinker.
Because you like your sweet crap.
I like sweet drinks. That's me.
That's why you like claras?
See,
Well,
sweet.
then it's important that you know which beer in the country you like the best to make it with limon, so you can make your perfect clara.
That's a good point.
Anywho, we have 4 beers here. They're all regional. I know the viewers can automatically identify, especially the bottle ones, but you can.
No.
So here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna try them. While you try them, I tell you a little bit about them.
Okay.
And then you try to guess where they're from or which one it is, if you dare to say.
Okay.
Okay, and then you have to tell us which one is your favorite.
Okay, that's easy.
You're open
I'm
for
cool
that?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
But don't go saying, well, I don't have favorite beers because I don't like beers. I'm a party pooper.
You done? Can we start?
Yes. I would say start with the green one. And no, it's not Heineken.
It's not Heineken. Okay.
Okay, this beer,
almost tastes like Heineken, but doesn't. But at the end, it's completely different.
So with my friends, and this is probably just my group of friends, we usually had this beer on more special moments. We don't have it like on a regular basis. Like maybe
you
we
go
have
out?
like when we go out, no, but when we have like a nicer dinner, for example, at home, like we get something together instead of getting our regular, then we get this one. Because we like it. It's a little bit more expensive, not too much. All beers are around the same
For
price.
me, this doesn't taste like it'll be a special occasion beer.
I mean, it's not a special. Like, we're not talking about specialty beers because we have a lot of those IPAs and like other ones. This is just like a regular beer, but it will be like one that you have a different flavor of. So you kick that up a little bit. And it's named after a very famous monument in Spain.
Oh, isn't that?
Yes.
Okay. For me, this is. I don't appreciate beer the way others appreciate beer. For me, a lot of times there are very few beers that really taste different from another one. Just from my perspective, this one here has a unique taste at the end. I kind of like the taste of this one at the end. I think this, I think to me, it's just a regular chill beer like you have with friends or whatever. That's it.
Yeah.
I think that's all beers though.
Okay. Do you dare to say where it's from or the name of the beer if you want to roll your luck?
I have no idea the names of the beers here, so I'll just try to choose the region. I'll tell you right now. Hold on.
Okay. I'm going to have a little bit.
Of course you are.
Because I don't have drink with me.
This tastes like a beer that would probably be more. At first, like the beginning of the taste would be the north, but I'm thinking the south.
You're thinking the south.
I'm thinking the south of Spain.
And you leave it there.
And I'm leaving it there.
Okay.
South of Spain. We're going to leave it right there.
Okay. I opened these ones because they had the name on the top, and
Okay.
I know you have really good vision. But these ones, I can open cans, so can you open it?
Okay. Anything you want to tell me about this one?
A ver. Yes, this beer is a sponsor to many football games or teams. I'm sorry, to many football teams.
So it's a famous beer.
And it's a very famous sponsor for many things.
Okay.
Yes.
For me, that sounds maybe of the famous beers I know here, like Estrella Galicia or Mao or what's the other one?
And that's the thing, right? Like many beers sponsor or patrocinan
Sí.
teams and like different, not only football, but like other games, right? But this one particularly has a lot of exposure.
I'm not sure if our alcoholic beverages, they don't necessarily, I don't know if they sponsor sports, but they go together with sports. So you won't necessarily see them in like if you should go to the news press or the press conference after a game, you won't see the beer on there, or maybe not even on their jerseys, but you'll see commercials about what you should be drinking
Got it.
during
During the
football, during
game.
American football
No,
games or
this one
baseball.
you'll see it in like T-shirts.
No, we don't do that.
Yeah.
That's as bad as it sounds. It's like kids are watching that, so you don't want to promote beer to kids.
Oh no, beers are like the huge patrocinios we have in all sports. Like even in the banners on the game on the stadiums.
Yeah, this tastes like a beer for games.
A beer for games because the games are long, because the games are exciting, because give me more information. Why?
No, it
for
just tastes
beer?
like a summer beer in a sense.
Summer beer. So light, easy to digest.
Yeah.
Good. Would you dare to say where is it from?
If it's a summer beer, it would have to be in the South.
Okay, so we have two South beers.
Two South beers.
Could be. It could be. There's a lot of South beers.
I'm afraid to say this is mild because if it's not mild, then that's really bad. But that would be my choice if I had to try. Are you going to take a sip too?
Well, I don't have a drink, so I have to drink to keep myself pumped.
Gotcha.
You may try the next one. By the way, por cierto, si oís algo raro en mi voz es porque he estado mala y tengo la nariz todavía un poco congestionada. He tenido un constipado.
Well, constipado. Constipado.
Okay, this beer right here, it's one of the most international beers we have. And it's like a chic beer in terms of all the TV commercials that this beer does are like mini short films production.
It's okay. It's not one that I will go to.
Okay.
Like, this is right now my least favorite of them all so far.
Ooh, this is interesting. Very interesting.
Not a beer I would go to, but it's not bad. It's just compared to these two, I would take these two over.
So when we lived in Serbia, this is the beer that I will most likely get because it was easier to find it in almost every supermarket in Serbia. Even in the United States, it was very popular. Like you'll find it in different restaurants and so on. So that's why I'm saying this one is one of our most international beers.
Is it? Well, I'm trying to remember what beers you drink in Serbia. Because
Oh,
I know.
I see what you're tasting. Okay.
You see what I'm tasting?
I know what you mean about it wouldn't be my to-go-to.
Who wouldn't?
I understand.
See, for me, what was
I
the-
like it though.
I'm sure you do. You like all beer. But like what I'm thinking about, like, is San Miguel a Spanish beer?
There's a huge debate. So I remember that whenever we had videos before, and I would drink a San Miguel because San Miguel is also by the way, it's not. But San Miguel is very easy to find outside of Spain as well. But it is exported by the Philippine brewery. And, obviously the Philippines was a territory of Spain.
So
And-
so is it a Filipino beer or is it a Spanish beer?
So here, for example, Mao San Miguel is like one corporation.
Okay.
And we make our San Miguel beer. But San Miguel beer is like the main beer in the Philippines.
Okay. That
So-
still doesn't answer the question.
It
though.
is said that it's connected from when the Spaniards were in the Philippines, and that's when they started like the brewery over there. But San Miguel, like the one that we drink here in Spain, is San Miguel from Spain. The one that we drank in Serbia is made in the Philippines.
So you have two San Miguels? Like this? Is it the same beer?
And it's the same beer, the same sign, the same letters, everything. So they must be connected somehow.
Okay. Confusing, but okay.
If anybody knows, like,
The history and all that.
sí, decirlo en los comentarios porque yo me he metido muchas veces porque he tenido trifulcas con gente de decirme, no, es una cerveza filipina. Y yo, no, es española, no sé qué, no sé cuánto. Y entonces he entrado en muchos debates y lo he buscado muchas veces en internet y lo único que encuentro es que sí, que en 1800 no sé qué, creo que fue, que cuando estaban allí los españoles empezaron a hacer la cerveza y no sé, y se trajeron el nombre de San Miguel, pero luego se independiza, pero no está claro. They don't clear it out. Like,
Sí.
it's very confusing. So, but we have San Miguel here, and San Miguel es una cerveza española.
And this is not San Miguel.
No es San Miguel.
Okay.
But you said it's your least favorite
My
so
least
far.
favorite so far.
Ojo al dato.
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay, this beer, this beer is also very international. And it has been categorized online as the best Spanish beer. And a lot of people go crazy when we hear this because we're like, what do you mean it's the best beer? No, my beer is the best beer. But
So do
that's
you
what
guys
the
get
internet
so
says.
let me ask you a question because I know like when we're in the U.S. and
Uh-huh.
we have Heineken, Budweiser,
Okay, the only one American is Budweiser. Heineken is from
I
Holland.
know, I know Heineken's from Holland, but I'm just saying the beers in the U.S.
Uh-huh.
Heineken, Budweiser, Coors,
Stella.
Corona, Stella,
Uh-huh.
all those beers there. When we have our beers, like it's not about who has the best beer as opposed to that's an argument, but it's also about what beer is best to go with what sport.
Yes, and I feel like in the US, depending on the beer that you drink, is the same as depending on the phone that you have.
Yes.
Meaning, if you're an iPhone user, you're this kind of person. If you
Yes.
have a Samsung, you're this kind of person. And I think with the beer happens the same thing.
We are so dedicated to that. That is
Yes.
exactly how
So
it
you
is.
don't fight necessarily. Like, yes, there is some like,
Yeah,
oh, whatever. But it's not about who's the best. It's about this is the kind of person I am because I'm drinking this beer.
it's definitely a personality kind of thing when we
Yeah.
have whatever beer you are. If you're like a Coors Light
Yeah.
kind of person, there's a different like
You
kind of
don't
status.
understand anything about beer. If you like Coors Light, you just like water with a little bit of flavor because that thing is like it. I never tasted peace, but it tastes
But
like
have you
peace.
ever watched the Coors like commercial?
I work for Coors Light. I have watched everything Coors Light.
Well, you know their whole thing is about having a higher presence or a class. So
Well, I remember when we're deviating here, but when I was working at Coors Light, they were doing a whole campaign to gain Latino drinkers into Coors Light because it tastes so bad that only like regular white Americans will drink it. So they were trying to expand their market to
well,
like
that's the
black and
thing. It was
Latinos.
always like just like white American high class kind of drink. So
Oh
that's how.
no, it tastes like piss. It's so bad. Like
Oh, you drink piss?
no, that's what I said. I never tried piss, but if I would have, I'm sure it tastes like Cruz Light. By the way, none of this is sponsored by any Bryan
Well, they
given.
damn sure ain't gonna sponsor us now. But but again, like that's the kind of mentality that we have around beer for
Yeah.
us. So that it kind of depicts those things. So Heineken or Budweiser was the football beer.
Yeah.
Like it's not just the football beer, but it's also the party
Yeah.
beer. So whenever you look at a Budweiser commercial,
Uh-huh.
it's always about a group of guys
Yeah.
getting together. It's always about a party atmosphere. That was the thing.
For us, I think it's more of a regional. Like you can be however you want. Like you can be this personality or this personality. But the main thing is that we are from Galicia, for example, so we support this Galician beer. Or Mao, like we're from the center of Spain, so we all drink Mao.
This one here
Uh-huh.
is now my least favorite.
Really?
Hold on 1 second. It's not my least favorite.
Even
because-
though it is categorized as the best beer in Spain, according to the internet.
Hear me? I gotta take a sip of this one again.
Menos mal que no te emborrachas, que si no estarías piripi ya.
Yeah, I would have to say because for me that one just tastes like a very normal beer in the U.S. It doesn't have anything like this one here has a different kind of kick to it at the end. This one here has its own like flavor and taste. This one here tasted like a regular beer, but has still like a little thing to it. This has nothing to it.
Okay. Maybe we're not professional tasters, right?
No, I damn sure ain't.
So maybe there is a way of like cleaning your palate so you don't like carry on the thingies, because I'm sure that a lot of people are gonna say, of course he's not gonna taste the fourth one after drinking all the first three ones.
Well, yeah, I have more beers than just these four, right?
But we do have a lot more beers, yeah, and I hope that we can make a second part of this video because there's a lot of beers that have not been represented here. But based
So
on
if you
what
have
you
a way
said,
of cleaning the palate, let me know for the next
yeah,
video.
let us know so we can do it better next time. But so you will say number one,
Yes.
number two, number three, number four.
Yeah, you put them in the right order for me.
Are you ready to uncover them?
Yes.
And be ready because a lot of people might not like you after this video. A lot of people. Like a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you're gonna tell me you're gonna start with that one. You're gonna start with my favorite
Let's
one.
start with the least one.
Okay. No, Estrella Galicia. No. This is always my go-to, especially
Well,
in the U.S.
Well, yeah, because in all the Gallego restaurants, that's
Oh
what they
man,
have.
people have a right to hate me right now. That's fine.
And this is the beer that all our viewers are like, until he doesn't hold an
But
Estrella
I
Galicia
drink
and Maria
Estrella Galicia.
Mao.
It does not taste the way I know, and that's
Maybe you
probably
didn't
could be
clean the palate.
maybe I didn't clean the palate because it just tastes compared to these. It tastes like regular beer, just like straight beer. It doesn't have anything that why I would go to it.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't
I'm
know.
just
I'm sorry,
saying,
Estrella.
maybe.
Lo siento. Lo siento. All right.
Well,
That actually hurt my feelings.
I knew, and I'm sure it's hurting a lot of people's
That actually hurt
feelings.
my feelings because that's the beer I drink for a while in the U.S. Estrella Damm?
Estrella Damm, the beer of Barcelona, of Catalonia.
Oh, my people. My cheap and.
Much cheaper.
Oh.
How do you feel?
I don't know. I've never had that beer before.
Yeah, we had it in Serbia again. The beers that I bought in Serbia
We
were
had that in Serbia?
all Estrella, yeah. I
I'm-
bought them in
I'm-
bottle. I never bought them in cans.
I only
but
remember you getting Estrella Galicia or San Miguel.
I got San Miguel over there too, but no, the ones that we got at Metro,
See.
it was this one.
I don't think I drank that one.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a Mao. And it's good. And it probably is because this is the beer that I've drank the most. I've been drinking Mao for the most part because of you.
See,
But
because of me.
on top
Like
of
it's
that,
a bad thing.
on top of that, because in the U.S., all I used to drink then, like I would have a Smirnoff because Smirnoff had like flavors to them. They had like cherry, strawberry, green apple, yeah, or a Corona. And for me, Corona had a taste.
Lemon.
It had a taste compared to regular beer. Like to me, like all other beers taste alike. The only beer out of the big three in the U.S. was Heineken that had a slightly different taste to them.
Okay. So, question before we uncover your favorite beer. Did you taste difference though in these
And
beers?
all four of them, I taste different.
So, do you think that maybe it's a thing of not knowing what beer you're drinking to actually find the difference?
I don't know.
Maybe the not knowing factor helps.
It does help because if I knew what I was drinking, I might have an expectation for what I
Exactly.
remember. So yeah. What the
That's Alhambra.
Alhambra? What
Yes.
the
And now, just keep in mind that all these brands have different flavor in beers. Like Mao has the green bottle, Alhambra has other versions of
Oh,
it.
really?
So there is, and then there's the 0 without alcohol beer options and everything. But yeah, this is the Alhambra.
I like the Alhambra. Alhambra has a taste at the end. Not a super fan, but to me, this is really cool.
Yeah.
This is a good, easy beer. For
It
me.
is a really nice beer, honestly. And that's why I was telling you that when we are together with friends, if we're like putting a little bit more effort into the dinner and we're just starting with like regular beers, then we'll have this one.
So this one is more expensive than the rest?
A little bit. Not much, not by much, but a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the next video that we do about beers, we'll put Alhambra.
Okay.
Maybe I cover
it as well.
differently.
And watch it be my least favorite then.
And then you'll try the other ones. Hopefully we can get some representation of like the Canary Islands or like Keller, which is the one in the Basque country. So we can have actually like
Basque beer?
super.
Can we find a Basque beer out here or no?
I haven't found the Keller or the Dorada. I believe se llama Dorada. Sí. The one of the Canary Islands. But working on it.
Someone told me to try a drink from the Basque. I think it was like
Calimocho.
Calimocho. Is that a beer or is that what is that?
No, that's what we all got drunk with when we were teenagers.
Oh, really?
That's Coca-Cola with wine, but the wine preferably like box wine, like one of those cheapest bad wines.
I thought Spain was all about obviously wine, but food. But the way you guys carry on with beer, it's next level.
Yeah, we have some passion for beer. Yeah.
I see. Because in the U.S. we like our beer, like we have our regular brands, but in the U.S. the big thing is like the IPAs and stuff like that.
I mean, IPAs are good if you're more into that taste of beer, for sure, because it's very particular, right? But the difference is that the culture around drinking beer in the U.S. is not like we do. Like we grab a beer any time of the day.
Yes.
Any day of the week. And I'm not saying that we drink every single day. Some people do, some people not. But it's not bad to just go on a Monday at 12 to have a beer with aceitunas, for example.
No, we will shame you if you did that.
Exactly, but in the US, you leave your beer for sport events, for family events,
that's
for July 4th.
That's the only thing that makes it justifiable to drink during the mornings or afternoons.
Exactly, and therefore you go for higher end beers like IPAs and like craft beers because you just leave it for those moments, or when you go to a brewery and then you do like a tasting for brewers.
Okay.
And if you have any beer that you recommend, I mean, I have Estrella de Levante in the list, I have Keller, I have Dorada, but if you know anybody that works in these beer companies, o si queréis que probemos alguna cerveza en especial, aunque sea una IPA española de algún sitio, lo que sea, nos lo decís. Y que la prueben.
Oh, wait, so what are the regions in these beers here? Then?
Madrid,
Obviously.
Barcelona, Cataluña, Galicia, Granada.
Granada?
Sí, la Alhambra is the monument in Granada.
Ah, so that's the monument it's named after?
Alhambra.
No, we haven't been to Granada yet. We've driven by it numerous times.
You haven't.
I have. Okay, I haven't.